Hey guys, it's me again, Eric here at Mountaintop 9, and tonight I want to talk about the band Mystifier, and specifically I want to talk about the album Goetia, which was released in 1993, and to me, this album is a landmark in black metal. Now, Mystifier is from Brazil, and they play a style of black metal that really has that beefy, heavy, thick-toned death metal kind of sound to it. You know, there's a heavy bass presence. You know, at times it just sounds like a fucking bulldozer running right over your head. You know, think about, other bands of the time like Rotting Christ and Verathron, those Greek bands. They have that thick sound to them. The way a band like Mystifier adds so much heaviness and thickness to the sound, it really just makes it all the more grimy and dirty, man. This album just has it all. For me, this is my favorite Mystifier album, okay? I also recommend their album. Their first album was called Wicca, and it came out in 1992. Now, I like that one. I really appreciate that one for what it is, but it really has, the sound quality on it isn't the same as on Goetia. I think Goetia really perfects the sound. Everything is just perfection on this album as far as what they were striving to attain. When you put on Goetia, what this album does, it feels like you are opening the bowels of hell when you play this fucking album. And I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. This has got to be one of the most evil, unholy black metal albums ever released. The opening song, Aleister Crowley and Ordo Templi Orientis, this song has it all. It's just a roller coaster ride, man, because you've got slow, churning, doomy sections, but then you've got the fast tremolo guitar and some blast beats, but there's just so many tempo shifts. It's cool how this band goes from slow to fast, and the sections fit together really well. This isn't like a band who's doing some riffs and just kind of piecing them together even though they don't fit. No, this stuff flows really fucking well. And what I want to really point out about Mystifier here before I forget, also, another very important element to the sound is their use of keyboards. Now, Mystifier isn't the type of band that uses really, poppy sounding keyboards, stuff that's just really, goes way overboard and just sounds way too sweet and sugary. They don't do shit like that. Their keyboards heighten the mood. They really ram the sense of evil and the sense of a demonic presence. They ram that shit right down your throat. And they use many different keyboard sounds. You'll have some really eerie, spacey sounding keyboards at certain times. You also get like this really satanic organ type sound where it just sounds like an organ that you would hear playing at some ritual in some satanic church somewhere, where they're doing some kind of virgin sacrifice. I mean, this album really just fills your mind with all kinds of horrendous images. Even if you don't read the lyrics, even if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, just the overall sound of this thing is so grim that it'll blow your fucking mind. But when you take a look at the lyrics, it's just all about blasphemy and praising demons and conjuring evil forces and all of that kind of stuff. Just the opening song alone, it's about Aleister Crowley. Now, we all know the famous Ozzy Osbourne song, Mr. Crowley. Well, that song kind of paints Aleister Crowley in almost a sympathetic light, okay? It kind of takes a really kind of polished approach to the topic. Well, that's not what this song does. That's not what Mystifier's all about, man. This song is all about sodomy and perversion. The vocals on this album mostly stick to a really foreboding growl. It's like this growl that's coming from a goddamn cave somewhere where all of the fires of hell are burning, and it just sounds so fucking ominous all through the album. But you also get some, some higher pitched vocals mixed in there as well, which really, that heightens the atmosphere as well, because this album is all about demons and stuff like that, so it makes sense that there would be multiple vocal sounds on here. So you got the death-like growl on here, but you've also got some higher end shit as well, you know what I mean? So that really kind of makes the vocal sound really complete. That opener right there, man, that's a good place to start. Aleister Crowley and Ordo Templi Orientis, it's got everything everything you would want in a good Mystifier song. You've got your slow, doomy sections. You've got your fast sections as well. They're just filled with brutality. Now, the next song is called An Elizabethan Devil Worshipper's Prayer Book, and that song is just mostly doom. Almost the entire song is just very lurching and doom-filled, and it just sounds like blood is just dripping off the guitar of this song because it's just so churning and just so slowly violent. You just feel the evil coursing through your veins as you listen to this damn song. And the keyboards that are in this song, they punctuate the ending section of the main riff. That's what the keyboards are used in this song for. They're just there for punctuation, just to embellish the sound of wickedness. And that's the thing I want to stop and point out about this album. Every damn song is important. This isn't the kind of album that you want to skip through. You gotta listen to this thing from start to finish, because that's how you can properly let, you know, the vibe and the atmosphere that this thing's going for. You gotta let it wash over you. This thing just flows so well. Not one song on this thing is a filler piece. They're all very important, but I want to point out the really kind of the parts on this album that just stand out above all else and that kind of can get in your memory banks even quicker. And one song that does that is track 5, which is really like this centerpiece of this fucking monster of an album. And the song is called Beelzebub. And this track, man, the keyboard in here, at the very beginning, it's got like this spacey sound, but then suddenly it turns to that demonic organ sound. Like I told you, it just sounds like it came straight out of some unholy church somewhere, okay? And that fucking refrain that is playing on the organ is very catchy. They really wrote a good hook there, and then when the music crashes in, when the drums come in and the heavy ass guitar, you know that this song is gonna be a standout piece of work, and it really is. And it's really memorable the way the vocalist is saying lines like, "I'm black as the night, I'm black as the death." It just really rams you over the head like a freight train, man. Kind of reminds me of the Samael song, Black Trip, you know, the opening lines to that tune on Ceremony of Opposites. It just really kind of gives me that same rush when I listen to this song. So yeah, track 5, Beelzebub, super, super catchy tune on here, but still evil as hell. And at the end, I love the way he starts saying fever and keeps repeating that over and over again, and then you've got this chanting of die, and it just really bubbles over, man, like a boiling cauldron. It's super, super cool. And I've seen videos of this song done live, and it kind of has a sing-along type feel to it, you know? You can really get into the end of this song. It's really a kind of a concert participation style song, this ending, so that's really catchy. So Beelzebub, track 5, that's one you don't want to miss. I mean, if you want to get a good taste of Mystifier, put that one on, listen to that. Now, another very important part of this album to me is the track, The True Story, about the Dr. Faust pact with Mephistopheles. This song gives you everything. It gives you every fucking shade of the unholy rainbow. You've got lurching, monstrous, foreboding, catchy-ass riffs, but then you've got fast sections. But as well as that, you've got this section of the song where it literally sounds like the musicians become possessed as they're playing. The drums and the guitar, they just have this weird timing in a certain section of this song that just really sounds like someone who is undergoing a demonic possession, like someone literally has an evil entity residing inside of their body and taking control of them, because it's just crazy. You just imagine a fucking head spinning around, spitting blood all over the goddamn room. That's how fucking off the wall this track is. I definitely recommend this one. The True Story about Dr. Faust's pact with Mephistopheles. This is a great example of this album. It's definitely one of my favorites, so you gotta check it out. And then after that song, you've got Cursed Excruciation, the sinuous serpent of Genesis. Now this song is one of the most lumbering and doomy songs on the fucking album. And this song was also performed on their previous album, Wicca, okay? But it was a shorter version of the song, okay? This song the version on this album, Goetia, this version is much longer and expanded and has a whole second section to it that it just really takes you on a super mystical journey. After you get past the real doomy, lumbering opening section, okay, you get into this part of the song that just, a keyboard comes into the picture and it's got a super mystical quality to it, like a clarion call from beyond the grave. It just has that, it has a very spiritual nature to it, all right? And the riff, it's very anguish and pained as it does the notes in a really slow, drawn-out fashion. And the way that melds with that keyboard sound, man, it is something else. It is atmosphere to the 10th power. It really is. You gotta check out that song as well. That's one of the other really grand highlights on this album. Now, the two songs on this album that are the most just hit you over the head, pure speed, blasting drums, tremolo guitar riffing, you'd go with the final track, which is called The Baphometic Goat of Knights Templar in the 12th Century. Another mouthful of a song title, let me fucking tell you, but I've got this shit memorized because I've listened to this album so many damn times. That song, the closing tune, really, I mean, it just goes off the rails. Super slice of aggression, and I love the way at the very end of the song, because this is the closing song on the album, you've got this chorus of demonic voices. I mean, he's doing just some really good screams there in his lower register and in the higher register, and it just really, I mean, it will make your fucking hair turn gray, dude, if you listen to this shit on a cold winter night all by yourself. Listen to this album and just feel the rush that this album puts on you, man. You know how people at Halloween time, okay, you know, these people, they'll put on these, you know, creepy haunted house sounds and stuff. They think that that sets a really, you know, eerie mood and shit. Or they'll put on a movie soundtrack like a John Carpenter, like Halloween or The Fog or shit like that. Or Goblin, you know, that score for Suspiria. All of that stuff is cool and everything, but holy shit. If you put on an album like Goetia, that would scare anybody. This album would creep anybody the fuck out, even if they're not especially if they're not familiar with metal. But even people who are jaded and have listened to a lot of, you know, grimy death metal, you know, the really raw shit, and also the best black metal stuff, any of that stuff. If you haven't checked out Mystifier, checked out this album in particular, I guarantee you it's got to make your skin crawl just a little bit. It really does have to quicken your pulse just a little bit. There's just no way, because this album is top of the line. You've got raw, grimy shit on here, but you've also got pure, majestic moments, like on Beelzebub. And I want to go back and say one more thing, in particular about the opening cut. Okay, Aleister Crowley, you know that song at the beginning? I'm not going to say the full title again, because it's taking up too much time saying all these titles. You got to do some shit in shorthand here. But anyway, the opening tune, alright? I forgot to tell you, there is a keyboard sound on that when a really cool rocking riff comes in, alright? There's a keyboard sound there that has this really cool echoing effect, okay? I really like the echoey keyboard that's at the end of the opening song. Like I told you, there are many different keyboard sounds on this album. You've got echoey keyboards, you've got spacey stuff, you've got haunted shit, and then you've got majestic organs. Everything is on this damn album. And then just look at the damn album cover. Look, it's mostly gray and white, okay? No sign of life. It's just so, you know, drab and grimy. You've got the Baphometic goat man standing there. Then you've got someone holding a severed head on a platter. It just looks like pure misery, alright? But then you've got that logo, Mystifier, there in blood red, and the album title down in the other corner. That makes an impression right before you even put the music on, okay? But anyway, guys, you've got to check out Goetia. This is an excellent album. Like I said, it's black metal through and through, but it's also got a strong death metal feeling to it as well, you know? So I think it has some good elements of both. And it's just so damn good. And also, I would recommend checking out Wicca as well. That's the album that came out in 1992. And then they had an album that came out in 1996 called The World Is So Good That Who Made It Doesn't Live Here. Now, that album, I remember when that album came out, right, in '96, because I saw a little review for it in Metal Maniacs at the time, and I loved that fucking title. I thought, that is such a smart-ass title. I love that title, and then the cover, I like the use of purple in the sky, and I like how there's an empty throne there, and just that long-winded title. Something about that really drew my interest right away. And that album's got some good elements to it, too. I like that album. There are just some operatic vocals on there that I'm not a fan of, okay? I don't like some of the vocals on that album, on The World Is So Good. Then they also released an album in 2001, and as well, they are coming out with a new album that I think is going to be released here in March of 2019. So they've got a new album that's coming out soon, so definitely check that out. I've heard 1 or 2 songs of it so far that have been previewed. And sounds pretty good, sounds pretty damn good. But nothing could ever take the place of Goetia. This album is just sheer perfection. I hold it high like I hold albums like Ceremony of Opposites and Satanic Black Devotion. It's just one of those albums that's just so damn good. Mystifier's fucking album covers are just so creepy. Look at that cover for Wicca. Look at it. So yeah, guys, I think I've ranted long enough about this album. I really want you to give it a try. It's even got some cool leads in here. I mean, this album's got it all. So definitely, if you're going to get into Mystifier, start out with Goetia. Get this album, you know, look it up, listen to some tracks on it, see what you think. If you're a fan of this band already, let me know in the comments section what you think of this album and what's your favorite stuff by Mystifier. I'd love to hear it because this band is fucking awesome. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and guess what? I'll be seeing you again real soon.